All right, good afternoon. I want to present to you my selected four candidates for the Southwestern Transit. I start with a brief introduction. It says Southwestern Transit Company aims to put together an effective team of conscious leaders. The selected team should be culturally aware and innovative based on their personalities and skill. I've chosen Elizabeth, Bob, William, and Kathleen were the selected candidates to be teamed together with the expectation that their strengths would overshadow their weaknesses to complement each other to create the most effective servant leaders. Okay. So here we go again. It's just we're just showing you a detailing of we're just showing you a detailing of the names of each of my desired employees. I went ahead and added a headshot to each. Just wanted to give a little brief description of who everyone is, and we have Elizabeth, Bob, William, and Kathleen. So primary reasons for team selection, right? And my primary reason for selecting Elizabeth is I think she's a great servant leader. She looks at the big picture. She aims to move up in the company. She's flexible, diplomatic, trustworthy, and she cares about the quality of her work. These are just good things to have and be, right? Bob, he's tenured at the company, so he's been there for a while. He's very experienced, right? And he's willing to do a good job, right? Anyone being tenured at a company, I always view that as a positive rather than a negative because it shows that you're committed, right? The primary reasoning for the selection continue. I chose William because William is a positive team player and he's willing to work independently, right? He's easygoing, right? He's satisfied with his accomplishment and his tenure as well, right? He's he's non-confrontational and he's willing to resolve conflicts, you know. Um, these are just great qualities as well to becoming a great servant leader and a conscious leader. Kathleen, it shows that she has a willingness to go elsewhere, right? She's a bit of an opportunist, right? But for the most part, right? Kathleen, even though she was my last choice, she has the making of a amazing servant leader as well, and that is why I chose her. Just when I view the other candidate, I think she stood out the most. Okay, so we're gonna just go over what we call the strengths of the team, and I want to start with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, it says she enjoy the collaborative aspect of the job and has positive attitude, right? Um, Elizabeth's strength lies in her problem solving, right? She's constantly researching and complying information to complete her final products, right? So this is good strength for Elizabeth to have because she's always looking to find a way to make like her work more effective, right? It says Bob, he's very smart, he's tech savvy, you know. He gets his work done quickly. Okay. uh, William, right? William, it says he is positive and he has a easygoing disposition. He's a sympathetic with other. He sympathizes with other easily. You know, this is just good characteristics. These are just good strengths for any individual to have. If we're trying to make you into that leader that we need you to be, Catalina says she's promotional driven. She's driven on promotion. She's looking to be promoted within the company, you know. Says Kathleen enjoys being challenged being challenging the task and can produce incomplete work while under pressure. She is highly detail oriented as well. So Kathleen is a good pick, even though she didn't have all of the makings of a servant leader like all the other three did. Some weaknesses. Elizabeth says she may rush to meet deadlines when necessary. Her primary area of weakness is in developing new skills. She is uncomfortable fostering the skills she's comfortable fostering the skills that she's already possessed, but is hesitant about branching out into new and unfamiliar territories. This is a weakness because you do want your employees to be innovative, but I think with Elizabeth's drive and her willingness, she can definitely learn new things, right? Bob, his weakness says he has been known to take too many tasks, which lowers the quality of his deliverable. So this pretty much means that Bob is known just to take on a lot of work. He is tenured and he has a lot of experience. So I guess the team just trusts him to get certain things done, but it definitely messes with the quality of the work, right? Let's move on here with the weaknesses. So some weaknesses from William. It says his primary weakness is his primary weakness is ineffective is ineffectiveness. He's a bit of a perfectionist, which makes him difficult for him to complete projects in a timely manner. So I would say Williams' issue would be his time management. He has a little bit of a poor time management, but his time management issue is due to him being a perfectionist, which isn't that bad, right? Catalina says she can take criticism. She can't take criticism well, right? Um, this is not the most downing thing from all of the candidates. I think not being able to take criticism is not that big of a deal, right? It says even tastefully delivers criticism personally and set on reasonable standard for her teammates. I think setting on reasonable standard is a little bit more of a weakness, but not being able to take like what type of criticism or effective criticism, I don't think is going to be that detrimental. Right. So before I go ahead and I continue, I wanted to pinpoint each employee's motivational factors, right? What motivates this employee? As Elizabeth says, Elizabeth is motivated by a culture of trust and her ability to work uh, and ability and her work ethic. It says she strives under a flexible manager style and supports growth in her skills. She prefers to be treated as a peer rather than a subordinate. So Elizabeth definitely is motivated by culture, being conscious of the culture, right? If you're conscious of the culture, you'll definitely be able to motivate Elizabeth, right? Bob, it says Bob is motivated simply by a job well done, right? Um, and you might think this is a little bit of a downing, but that is a great motivational thing, being told that you did a good job, hey, feedback being your motivation based off of the feedback that you get. And it says he's also highly motivated in the form of raises and bonuses as well, right? Being told that you're doing a good job, given a raise because you're doing a good job. I think that's a great motivational factor. Okay. All right. So we have here William. It says William struggles to get motivated, right? And it says if he does not see immediately value in the project, when he views a project as irrelevant, he can easily motivate by challenging the task. He is also motivated when showing appreciation for the work he's produced. So it seems like, three of our employees here, they want to be appreciated for their work. But William, though, it seems like he needs high intensity work. That's not a bad thing. Kathleen, it says Kathleen is highly motivated by being challenged. Both Kathleen and Williams are motivated by being challenged. So let's move forward here. Right. So Now, after we have an understanding of who the employees are, their strengths and their weaknesses, and what motivates them, I wanted to go over to these strategies. And I wanted to start with the strategy here called job description. All right. And the reason why I wanted to start with this one here is because it says job design. A job design could be meticulously selected to complement the structure of the organization to best motivate the employees. The right job design, if employed, can shape the culture and environment of the organization. Right. It's good to select the right job design, and job designs I personally think job design is good to have a good understanding of, you know, what the right job design is and how to best set up the necessary makings of a good work environment, right? So another strategy we wanted to touch on after job design was job characteristics, right? The job characteristics theory, which focuses on the specific of motivational properties of the job, right? The reason why I wanted to touch on the job characteristic theory is because it ties in motivation. It's trying to motivate, right? Um, Here's a good quote from the textbook. It says the job characteristic theory focuses on the specific motivation properties of the job. It says if employees experience these states that at a sufficient high level, they are likely to feel good about themselves and to support favorable favorable to their job. I This is a very crucial quote because it's showing you that uh, if you offer favorable job environment in a sufficient amount of time, it's going to definitely improve your productivity, right? A portion of the job characteristic theory that I wanted to dive into, right, is the five characteristic of the job dimensions, right? And it starts with skills variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback, right? We could start first with skills variety, right? Skills variety says the degree to which the job requires a variety of activities and involve different skills and talents, right? The next one is task identity, right? It says the degree to which the job requires completion of a whole and I and identifiably pieces of work extends to which a job has a beginning and an end, right? So job identity and skill variety are two very important characteristic of just job character of the job dimensions, right? The next one I want to talk about is task significancy, right? Task significancy, the degree to which the job affects the lives of other people, both in at the organization and not at the organization. Job significancy is very important because task significance is very important because you want to make the task, right, to only positively or negatively infect the employees at work. You don't want the task to be so, so taxing that when the employee leaves work, this task is still on their mind, right? Autonomy, right? Autonomy is important. It says the degree to which the job allows an individual substantial freedom, independence, and decision and discretion to schedule the work and demand the projection of the carrying it out, right? So autonomy is important because you want each employees to manage yourself. You know, you want your employees to become self-sufficient. You want them to have good time management, right? And this is only going to be done if you are autonomous, right? Feedback. Feedback, the degree to which job activity gives an individual direct and clear information about the effectiveness of their work. It's good to give feedback to employees if you want the work to improve, right? So we're going to continue with our strategy list. All right, here's another strategy on our strategy list. It's called event-based evidence-based management, right? And right here it says the commitment to identify and utilize the best theory and data available to make decisions, right? And it has a 5 basic principles, right? And the 5 basic principle, right, of evidence-based management, right, is face face the hard facts, being committed, ownership of organization, looking for risk, and avoiding based decisions, right? Facing the hard facts is easy, right? It says, it says facing the hard facts and build a culture which people are encouraged to tell the truth, right? Facing the hard facts is important because you definitely want a culture where people are going to tell the truth, right? Being committed to fact-based decision making, which means being committed to getting the best evidence and using it to guide actions. And being committed is so crucial for our 4 candidates to have. And I do believe our 4 candidates do instill being committed because each of them is looking to strive within the company, right? Um, Ownership of organization, right? And it says treat your organization as an unfinished prodigy, right? Encourage experimentation and learning by doing so, right? All right, looking for risk. It says and drawback in which people recommend. Even the best medicine has side effects, right? So you have to do what's called due diligence. You need to be due diligent when it comes to evidence-based management. You need to definitely look at where each of employees' strengths and weaknesses are, which we discussed earlier, and then you want to then select the motivation of what motivates the employee. And once you're able to pinpoint that, right, then you could go ahead and look at the risk. Is it worth it that if I do this, will it be beneficial to me and will it be beneficial to the employee, right? And then the last but not least is avoid basing decision on understanding by strongly held beliefs, what you have done in the past, or on certain or on critical benchmark of what's winning to do, right? So avoid making that decision and also avoid basing decision, right? Don't make decision based off of what was done in the past or the ruling of your last job. You definitely have to keep what this company has ruling to be, right? So in summary, it says each of the selected candidates bolster the higher purpose of Southwestern Company, all while keeping the needs of the stakeholders in mind, right? Elizabeth, Bob, William, and Kathleen were selected for their unique perspective and prior experience. I hope their qualifications will benefit Southwestern Transit and is secure to in its market and competitive edge. Thank you. And here are a list of my references.